Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hanniger, Jimmy Ott, Max Gotro, Jordan Kinchin's back in the studio with us. Well, did you get to sleep at a reasonable time last night? You stayed up late with the Tigers. You saw them beat Little Rock 10-6 to win the regional, and it was not one of those games that you'll forget. They said at one point last night they had LSU's won 180 games in regional play. Over the years, going back to Burton and all. Some of them fade pretty quickly. This one won't. It had everything that a championship game is supposed to have. It had drama. It had unbelievable individual performances. It had great defensive plays. It had a comeback. It had the crowd into it. It was obviously a late night there, and it had an LSU win.
Big time opponent too.
It was not a big. It's not a big. But you know what, Jimmy? Some of the games against that have been classics in these regionals, and I'm thinking about games where they eked out a win against a UNLV team, or they eked out a win against a UNC 96.
The old 16
the old 16. Yeah, they beat UNLV 7-6 on Friday afternoon, lest they would have fallen into the losers bracket there. UNC Wilmington.
UNC Wilmington had way better credentials than his team coming in. That Wilmington team was good, Charlie, and it came in where they weren't an eighth place finisher in there.
Out of 180 games that they have won in regionals over the years, I could probably name 175 teams that came in with better credentials than this team. It's how they played this weekend. I think, belied their statistics. That on paper, there's no argument. But that team played with a lot of guts, with a lot of character. You saw some great individual performances. That kid out in center field reminded me of Johnny Kaplan last night at the regional in 2001 at Zephyr Field. I mean, he ran every doggone thing down from the vet school to Tiger Stadium, it seemed like. So
how about one when he's on a sprint and he has to reach straight up? Like we see guys extend. The kid from Murray State was outstanding too in Oxford last night. I mean, it was kind of these two guys kind of mirrored each other. And no, he was, but that's part of it, Charlie. You yesterday, this stage is set. This is a class. No, it's because Little Rock took the lead. It's because Little Rock. We knew they had the 1-2 punch. Sort of the relievers for most part that LSU had, a luxury that very few teams have in a game 7 in a regional. But because Little Rock continued their momentum and put you in a hole, we're like, okay. Even the odds maker said this is a flip of the coin now. Which it probably wasn't in reality because LSU is so public. I got some information on that. I mean, it just bet LSU.
At 5-1, LSU was minus 130, I believe. 135 is what I saw when it got to 5-1.
They never got to plus money. They got to low as minus 110 and 115. Yeah. Our buddies on VSiN were actually tracking it, live on their show. Matt Humans and Tim Murray mostly, but they never got to plus money. But my buddy Patrick Everson had reached out to me and said, "Look, in Louisiana they bet LSU like they're a pro team." So my point is, they're inflated. So if it was a pick 'em, the win probability, not the line, was probably Little Rock.
Yeah,
if it was being public that they are, but no, because Charlie, Little Rock, the way they played, and the deficit, the 5-1 deficit, that set the stage for way more dramatics and way more tension, drama, the finality, win or go home. That's what made it memorable, and that was going through my mind because you didn't say, man, this is going to be a great match. You didn't think so. We thought LSU was just going to roll again because they have way more pitching than Little Rock. Little Rock had to play another game.
I thought the offense would break out fairly early in this game, and it took a little bit. But you had what I'll take from this game is some of the individual performances. The Kason Evans, this add him to this list of these heroic type performances when LSU absolutely had to have them. Painich in 96 and Coogan in 97 and Brandon Bowe in 98 to save them. Jared Poche in 2016, where these guys are going to come in and you absolutely have to have it from them because they just don't have, another guy that they know for sure can get it done. And for him to strike out 9 people in a row and that slider, that breaking ball was so sharp last night. I don't know that I've ever seen anybody work any quicker. I thought I got a chuckle after the game where he said, Kate Anderson came up to me in the middle of the inning and said, slow it down just a little bit. You threw 4 pitches in 20 seconds, but not too much because you're rolling. And he goes 6 innings. And in the last inning that he pitched, the last inning he completed, worked through a couple of walks, made a terrific play off the mound on a bunt to get the lead runner at third. He made it look easy. That's not the easiest play. I've seen that play botched many times. Johnson juggled his order. We've been talking about that for 3 weeks now. Would it make a difference? Well, I don't know if it was because he changed the order. All I know is Ethan Fry went 4 for 4 out of the 2 hole, and Jared Jones got 2 hits in the 6 hole, and both of them hit the ball out of the park. A little bit of everything. Luis Hernandez, an unsung hero. Everybody will talk about, and us too, Evans and Fry, but Hernandez homers twice in this game.
Wasn't Hernandez supposed to be more of a little punch at the plate?
He hit 23 home runs for Indiana State last year. That's Indiana State.
Right.
Last night's were his 7th and 8th of the season. I think he's been
before the season. You would have thought he would have had more.
I would have said I'd said about half of what he hit at Indiana State. I thought 11 or 12, something like that. And so he's got. It was at 8 and 9 or 7 and 8. I think it was 7 and 8.
Well, Indiana State didn't play in the postseason last year, did they?
I don't remember. Last night was 8 and 9. And what he's done, which I think is really unsung, is he's gotten better defensively over the course of the season. He came here as a catcher, but he didn't catch for Indiana State last year. He caught a couple of games. I'm sorry, he caught about 10 games 2 years ago, but he primarily was a DH and a first baseman. He had to catch a lot. Yeah, last year.
That's odd.
Yeah, he had to make some adjustments. I mean, he caught a lot of innings for LSU this year, a lot of innings, and I thought he got better defensively as the year went along. They had to bring back Anthony Ianson to close this thing out. He came on and got him out of the jam in the 8th. Little Rock cut it to 1 run. He threw 20 pitches, part of a theme we'll talk about here in the second segment with some of the aces that had to come back yesterday. This was his bullpen day. It's 20 pitches, but it's something he hasn't been asked to do before, and he did it really well. Great night at Alec Box. I thought it was a wonderful college baseball game atmosphere. Got a ton of respect for those guys on the other side. They played their guts out, and LSU it was all they could do to beat them.
5-1, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking that there's a lot of time left in the game offensively for them to come back, but somebody's got to come in and pitch.
Well, at some point, I mean, Arkansas Little Rock is going to throw out a guy that doesn't have it. I mean, they are scraping the barrel with their pitching.
I'll tell you exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking Evans is going to come in and give them about 3 or 4 innings, and this game is going to be 8-8 in the 7th, and I don't know who's going to pitch. That's what I was thinking at that point.
Funny, the Oxford and Baton Rouge Regional had eerily similar situations last night. So Little Rock was the home team. Ole Miss was the home team. Bottom of the 8th, Little Rock scores to cut it to 1. Bottom of the 8th, Ole Miss scores to cut it to 1. Little Rock has first and second, 1 out. Ole Miss has first and second, 1 out. A left-handed batter for both teams has a 3-2 pitch. Both hitters, Furness and the Little Rock hitter, took the pitch.
Both of them thought they had ball 4.
Yes. Yes.
And the Little Rock guy did have ball 4. LSU got a call there.
Furness hit, but I will say this. The umpiring in college baseball, I saw worse this weekend.
Sure.
Okay. Sure. So, it's one of those, is it close enough to kind of fight off?
Yeah.
They were both off the plate, but both got called strike threes. I mean,
Yeah.
the Murray State guy was on. I mean, he was on fumes. Ianson was just, coming in there to try and hold it off, and then LSU, gets the insurance runs in the top of the ninth. But it was unbelievable. The and a lot of tension. I mean, that's where you got to be. I mean, because then the high chopper, well, then third base, by the way, for LSU made a nice play there because he didn't
did.
have.
And I thought he was going to go to the bag. I thought he could have beat him to the bag. But
and if you want to compare the two teams, night and day, LSU fielding and Ole Miss. Ole Miss was like they couldn't.
Yeah.
They need to go doing a seminar on balls with choppers hit to the right side between the pitcher, the first baseman, second baseman. I mean, there was like 3 in a row. But anyway, LSU was super, super sharp as they've been all year. Skip has reminded us over and over the years. Look, great pitching, nothing trumps that. But then when you have when he's not quite super, as we usually see in these game sevens, where how many pitchers? What was the average of the 12 teams participating yesterday? But they averaged 7, 8 pitchers that they use, but 7,
something like that. Yeah.
I mean, it's hard. And that's what makes Evans so special. You are dying for some pitching.
Yeah.
In a game 7 of a regional, and he is out of his mind. Charlie, so 27 strikes is the minimum to strike out 9.
Yeah.
How many more did he throw?
Ooh,
it wasn't many.
No, a lot of them.
Maybe a pitch per batter. I mean, what did he throw? Maybe 36 over those 3 innings.
Something along those lines.
But it was. I mean, I'm like, Little Rock, take a pitch. I mean, like they're swinging and missing by 3 feet.
For a while there, I felt like I was watching that Kerry Wood game. Yeah. We talked about that.
And so when you watch guys really look bad on swings and misses, like they're missing, that tells you, or like they're check swinging and going around where a ball is like 3 feet off the plate and stuff like that. That tells you how good his stuff. That's an indication how good the stuff the pitcher has. And this is a great thing about college baseball at this time of the year. You don't know. Okay, these guys are 1 and 1A coming in. One guy doesn't have it. You only get an inning and a third. And then so you lean it on more heavily on Evans, and he comes through. And he was the guy. It was his night. Only Hagen Smith has struck out more consecutive batters. It was unbelievable. And to see him and he raised his game. I mean, we watch just a comparison. The USC lineup. They scored 1 run in 18 innings in Corvallis. Against bottom of the barrel. Oregon State lost their first game. Bottom of the barrel pitching for Oregon State. And then they hit this first rounder for TCU, who's popping 101, 102 left and right, like he's throwing BP.
They look like a completely different team. Yeah.
So this is the great thing. Chris Benson's number 1 overall pick. He can't get it out at Rosenblatt Stadium. And so this is the fun part about you just don't freaking know. You don't know. And it's nerve-wracking to some fans, certainly coaches. But, LSU's also got a lot of clubs in their bag because there weren't 3 arms in any of those 6 games yesterday. Nobody had 3 arms like LSU had.
No,
nobody.
No, I would.
On a game 7?
No, you can't. You can't have that kind of depth usually in today's game.
But they works.
Did. Yeah.
Does he not hustle?
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
He hustles, and this is where your roster. I mean, when you got those that's a hell of an option. But these guys just don't come knocking on the door. Knocking down your door. I mean, you got to hustle it.
The Super Regional will start at 1:00 on Saturday. Game 2 is Sunday at 5:00. Game 3, if necessary, would be on Monday. That is TBA. Everything is on what they say, real television now. Nothing will be on Plus. All of the Super Regionals.
Well, they got the prime time. They moved into the Big Daddy.
They did.
After the Texas Tech Oklahoma game
for about 20 seconds there, Miami was on 2 to
Yes, they were. Yes, they were.
2 channels, and LSU wasn't on any.
Yes.
It took Twitter like 10 seconds to start bitching about that. Like, wait, you put the game. But yeah, 1 o'clock Saturday, 5 o'clock Sunday. One of them, first game's on ESPN, second game's on ESPN2. Everything will be on one of the ESPN platforms, not Plus, in the super regional round, which starts on Friday with 4 games. So
we can talk about that. How about Oklahoma down their last strike? And they tied up with a home run off the stud girl. And then they come back and it was some fun.
Texas Tech walked it off, yeah.
This guy, and Cano, deserving?
Yes.
MVP.
10 of 19 is what I had him with.
Ben said 10 of 22 last night.
Okay.
But he
had a phenomenal series.
Did he not lift this team up?
Deserved to be the MVP of the regional. And I
Jones could have got that ball. It got the 3 unassisted.
I don't know.
I don't know, but I think so.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean,
I also thought Reeves could have gone to the bag on that hot shot that he threw across the diamond, but I mean, to go to the bag at third. But hey, I'm not there in the moment. I'll trust to their judgment.
I thought he decided to let it go foul.
Yeah,
because it would.
Yeah,
that you agree, Max?
I thought that was a mistake.
I did too.
Yeah, because I want to get Cano off the.
He could have tagged him.
Yeah,
Cano was in front of him when he could have.
No, he could. But he was. The other 2 guys were going to advance.
They were going to advance regardless. Yeah, I would have picked it up and tagged him. I would have picked it up.
I thought he had that chance.
He did.
Okay.
He did. I was thinking of another play that you were talking about. No, the bunt. I just to get him out of the batter's box, I would have taken. Put it this way. If he'd have been squaring to bunt, wouldn't you have been happy to pick up the ball and throw it to first and let the runners advance rather than give him another swing?
No, absolutely. And sure enough, he got a RBI single, and it set things up.
I thought he should have picked it up.
Over here, Mike Anderson's, of course, every Tuesday night to 5 to 9 p.m. here in the bar area. It is half price on all our half oysters on the half shell. We got a great provider over here, and even when it's getting warmer, look, we've got the. That whole theory was during refrigeration when they didn't have a lot of refrigerated trucks and things like that. We got a great supplier over here. They're clean, they're firm, they're salty, and man, you can eat them on the half shell on discount on Tuesdays, or also throw them on the char grill. So, man, I think a lot of those West Virginia fans who migrate over here to Mike Anderson's this weekend. And our June specials, the kick and tails, Louisiana crawfish tails and jalapenos deep fried and tossed in a sweet chili sauce. Shrimp cocktail is another appetizer for June. Tookie's Lighthouse trout, lightly seasoned trout, dusted with flour and pan sauteed, topped with lump crab meat and toasted almonds in a light lemon butter sauce. And that's one of our June specials. Summer salad, romaine and iceberg lettuce with strawberries, blueberries, dried cranberries, avocado feta cheese, and toasted almonds. Those are Charlie Baglio strawberries, by the way.
Yeah.
And his strawberry shortcake. Speaking of Coach Bags, yes, indeed. We miss him dearly. We'll bring us those flats of strawberries down from the Ponchatoula area. Strawberry shortcake it's that time of the season, man. We got that over here. We got a watermelon mule, a frozen Miami Vice, and Paris Bayou Blonde are our drink specials for the month of June here at Mike Anderson's on Lee, just off of Nicholson.
Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Baseball and softball players of all levels get the competitive edge you've been looking for at Total Diamond Performance. Do the same lessons, camps, classes, and clinics used by top college and MLB organizations. Everything from mental performance, in-game video, and data analysis to improve pitching, throwing velocity, bat speed, and fielding. Total Diamond Performance is tailored around the individual player to build strength and athleticism while also cleaning up mechanical deficiencies. Matt Mastretta applies what he's learned working in player development with college and MLB teams. Total Diamond Performance, 931-3730. That's 931-3730.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and ocbrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Text Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance and Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt. Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference, all in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net.
We're here to examine things that get better with age, like this bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, vintage 1877. Age can make things more valuable, like this Picasso from his blue period, 1904. And treasured, like this Roto-Rooter jingle, 1954.
Roto-Rooter jingle?
Just listen to it.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And the wingle troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Timeless melody.
Roto-Rooter?
The lithe arrangement.
But it's a clog-busting company.
Wrong there. Roto-Rooter has grown into more than a clog-busting company. They're North America's largest full-service plumber and drain cleaner. And when you need Roto-Rooter, remembering this jingle can be priceless.
Roto-Rooter.
For all of your plumbing and drainage solutions, call Roto-Rooter in Baton Rouge at 925-8710. That's 925-8710.
The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Fin Bomb, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee.
Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, or even 8x40 feet. Not just one size. These units can be customized for any use. Custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. Give my buddy Martin Padiella at Workbox a call at 343-4886, 343-4886, and workboxllc.com. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road since 1988. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games in a casual atmosphere with the friendliest service. Right now, we're boiling crawfish 7 days a week. Monday through Friday, first batch comes out at 5 p.m. Weekends at noon. Sammy serves a wide mix of authentic Louisiana food prepared to order with the best ingredients available. Fresh Louisiana seafood, Cajun favorites, burgers, and po' boys, all built from scratch. Our kids' menu and popular appetizers are sure to please the pickiest of eaters. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road, near Starring since 1988.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Yanni from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Remember, the show's available on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net. We'll drop a new Handycast this afternoon, setting up looking back at the regional, setting up the super regional. You can get that on YouTube. Doug Thompson and Dan Canavera will be with me this afternoon. The schedule's out for the super regional, and look, I understand people weren't delighted about all the 8 o'clock starts and stuff like that, but the NCAA has been remarkably fair with LSU.
Yeah,
this could have been a lot worse. When you think about why Little Rock, with their record, didn't go to Arkansas to kind of start this thing, they got a pretty good draw in the regionals. This schedule for the super regionals, LSU doesn't start till Saturday. So 6 teams won yesterday, 3 on each side of the bracket, which meant that 3 of these teams were going to have to play on Friday, no matter how you did it. So was it, you were going to have to make 3 teams. And North Carolina, Miami, and Oregon State all have to play on Friday. In fact, North Carolina's got to play at 11 o'clock on Friday morning. So when you think about
North Carolina had to play at 3 o'clock on a workday.
Yeah,
yesterday,
and they got to play 3 o'clock on a workday. Miami, tell me that wasn't a draining game last night on the road.
They should be.
All you can do is Southern Miss. Well, they got to play on Friday at 2 o'clock.
Yeah,
also on the road.
The Murray State guys, I mean, they asked him last night. Well, I mean, what about do? We'll figure it out. We're going to celebrate tonight.
Sure.
So same thing with Miami.
Sure.
So, got to man. LSU. Listen, LSU would never play. Whenever they start in Omaha, the Friday, Saturday, this is the one sport where we have stronger TV ratings in the South than we do in Corvallis, Oregon. So that's why they're playing a 1 o'clock. 6 is it 3:00 local time yesterday? 5:00. Yeah, 3:00 local time. Winner take it all. Winner take all. LSU's the primetime game. LSU's on ESPN. LSU's on the main products, moving forward this weekend, and they on the prime. So there'll never be that Friday afternoon game in Omaha. Never be.
No.
It's just not happening.
Not the early game, no.
And so this is
a good draw, because at this point you want Case and Evans and Anthony Ianson to have another day. I mean, Evans threw 109 pitches yesterday. That's 25 more than he's ever thrown in a game. You want him to have another day.
Yeah, West Virginia didn't have to play yesterday.
West Virginia did not have to play yesterday. You want I know Ianson only threw 20 pitches, but you want him to have another day.
West Virginia got through it with only 3 games.
Yes, they did. And look, this could have been a lot worse. Is it going to be hot Saturday at 1:00? Yes.
It's going to be hotter for West Virginia. You don't think they'll feel it more than the LSU players? Of course they will.
Of course, yeah. There's no question.
Well, that's what I mean.
LSU got a very good draw here.
Now,
what
they don't have a
Sunday,
draw,
Monday, they're fine.
They don't have a great draw is you get to Omaha and all this shakeup, you have to look. I mean, we're trying to see if this is LSU's co-favorite to win it all. And so you have to peek ahead a little bit. This is our job, it's not the team's job, whatever. They can focus, all that stuff. But, I mean, you look ahead, you do matched up in the first game with that Arkansas-Tennessee winner.
Yeah, you're gonna get Zach Rudy, you're gonna get Liam Doyle.
You'd rather be playing Duke Murray State winner, but you're not. But that's just part of it.
That's how it went. What about 5 ACC teams, 4 SEC teams?
The SEC got bruised up, and and LSU was on the ropes. No, they don't.
You expected
they 5
Texas,
or 6.
You expected Texas and Vanderbilt to be through to this round, and neither one of them are.
Right. And Ole Miss had. I mean, come on, they got to beat a 4 seed.
Yeah.
And listen, their fielding cost them. That does. I mean, they gave extended way too many innings, gave up way too many base runners, too many unearned runs last night with their fielding.
Nine runs is a little bit too much to dig yourself out of, and they almost did it.
I will tell you this: of all the great atmospheres, and look, they showed up close up with these 2 punks too, cursing the Murray State kids when they had them, but no place was jumping like Swayze Field. It was going crazy.
They waste too much beer up there.
Charlie, it was going to, I think the kid that hit the 3-run homer that stayed in the air forever, I think it barely cleared the wall to cut it to 1. It was fun, man. You had these atmospheres last night. Southern Miss was behind. They got the 2-run homer to cut it to 1 late, but they were always at arm's length. Miami kept them at arm's length. That was with 2 outs.
Miami had the lead almost that entire game. Southern Miss had tied it up in the 4th, but Miami took the lead right back in the top of the 5th.
Miami doesn't have what but they could pick it, bro. They had some really good plays. So, that's and man, the Little Rock center fielder, the Murray State center fielder, those 2 guys, they were playing,
and the Alec Box was hopping last night, man. I mean that place, that building makes a difference. We've seen it so many times, and I don't know that it necessarily intimidated Little Rock because they had played really good baseball, but it sure helped get Case and Evans going. I mean, is he not an emotional guy when you see him coming off the mound? I mean, he feeds off of that stuff.
The starter may have been counterproductive. Evans, it obviously, had something to do with lifting him. There's no question. But I don't think I think Little Rock they were on the left fielders behind. He was laughing.
Yeah, they were settled in by yesterday. They were settled in earlier in the weekend.
This was a team that was playing with the house's money, playing a lot. And listen, they had played 5 games last week, like we talked about yesterday. Yeah. LSU did not. So this was they've done this before. And I think with now, obviously, the way that when the crowd got going, and even the Murray State coach in game is saying, well, they're going to make a comeback. The crowd's going to get into it. We're going to have to deal, So when all that happens, some teams it almost lifts their game, Charlie. I mean, you don't think they were on Jacques Jones behind when he was hitting home runs?
Seen
Brett
that
Boone's
happen
behind
a lot. Yeah,
they love that stage.
They want to come here.
They love
want
that
to come
stage.
here and play.
Yeah. Don't forget our friends at K&M Automotive on Segan Lane. My buddy Jason Payne. You know, the worst thing you can do is go and get some work done on your car, and you just get overcharged. We are not trained mechanics. We don't know what our cars legitimately need and what they don't need and what's being, juicing the tab on us and things like that. That's why he has so much repeat business. It's the only place I take my vehicle. He's on Segan Lane, just off of Perkins, across Segan from Ambrosia Bakery, 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. Everything, tires, AC repair, transmission, engine light comes on, just oil change, whatever it is. Go see my buddy Jason Payne. Tell him you heard it right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge live at lunch. He's going to take care of you at K&M Automotive, Segan, near Perkins.
Live at Mike Anderson's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
We're here to examine things that get better with age, like this bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, vintage 1877. Age can make things more valuable, like this Picasso from his Blue Period, 1904. And treasured, like this Roto-Rooter jingle, 1954.
Roto-Rooter jingle?
Just listen to it.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And the wingle travels down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
A timeless melody.
Roto-Rooter?
The lithe arrangement.
But it's a clog-busting company.
Wrong there. Roto-Rooter has grown into more than a clog-busting company. They're North America's largest full-service plumber and drain cleaner. And when you need Roto-Rooter, remembering this jingle can be priceless.
Roto-Rooter.
For all of your plumbing and drainage solutions, call Roto-Rooter in Baton Rouge at 925-8710. That's 925-8710. Congratulations are in order for one of my favorite places to eat, Snow Seafood and Steaks, celebrating its 50th anniversary. That's right, since 1971, Snow's has been serving a wide assortment of menu items to please everyone. Steaks, seafood, gumbo, homemade soups, salads, specialty cocktails, great wine selection, and oh yes, the best white chocolate bread pudding that you'll find anywhere. It's the total dining experience. Happy 50th anniversary to my friends at Snow's Seafood and Steak, Airline Highway at Highway 74 in Gonzales. By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Go's Eat Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze for the perfect blend of sweet and spicy. You can't go wrong also with the flash fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Go's Eat Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
This is Charles Henniger for Total Maintenance for AC and heating, generators, electricity, and plumbing. Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all of these needs. Service today, every day. That's their slogan at Total Maintenance, so nobody ever has to go to sleep hot. Over the years, Total Maintenance has expanded into the New Orleans area, as well as their offices in Baton Rouge with full staffs in both markets. Call 480-1000 in Baton Rouge or in New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance. This is Charles Henniger for Home Bank. If you're tired of the impersonal, one-size-fits-all style of banking, you deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for your businesses and families because they go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business and good for life. Stop by any South Louisiana, Houston, or Natchez area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Do you know what you would do if you were in a car wreck? It's easy to panic when you or someone you care about is hurt in an accident. Who will pay the medical bills? Who will pay the car repair? Who will deal with the insurance companies for you? Protect your rights. You need someone you can trust. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 343-1111. The law offices of O.C. Brown will handle everything for you. 343-1111 or online at ocbrown.com. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Heading out to Las Vegas, deep in the desert, lives one man. One man of many sports bets. The one and only Andy Isco.
Andy, how you doing, my friend?
Jimmy, I'm doing fine. I hope you guys are as well. And congratulations to your Tigers for advancing to the regionals.
How about that, huh? Of all teams, Little Rock with the worst RPI that we can remember coming in here gives the Tigers all they can handle, and all it does is just gives the crowd a lot more bang for their money, for their buck, for the tickets last night. Who would have thought?
It also causes the LSU team to be a little bit more focused, I guess, going forward. It's not bad to be tested against a team that you should beat and then you struggle with. So maybe maybe at the end it's a good thing.
Do you subscribe to that theory, sort of like that, in the March Madness, because it's kind of like March Madness is flip-flop with May Madness, now June, because there's way more upsets in the baseball tournament where it's usually chalk heavy, and just the opposite with all of the major programs scooping up the mid-majors best players, with the transfer portal, the NIL era. But do you subscribe to that? Because that's something that I do as far as a margin. Man, the team got away with a close call. They're almost fortunate to still be in it. But, man, get them out while you can, because it makes them that – you think it makes them that much more dangerous?
Yeah, I think it sort of lets them realize that there are no teams you can really overlook in basically a 1 or 2 game elimination situation, that all these guys have talent. A lot of them will probably end up have a number of guys drafted in the top, 5 or 6 rounds in the MLB draft coming up in a little bit, if they haven't been already drafted in the past and just, put on hold. So it's kind of like in March Madness, it's somewhat similar to March Madness, although March Madness is a 1 game elimination. It's not so bad to be tested every once in a while, so that you realize, it's easy when you're coming from the SEC, and we saw obviously what happened with Vanderbilt over the weekend, that, you're playing in perhaps the best balanced conference in all of collegiate baseball. And so it's easy to overlook certain opponents just by showing up. And I think that when you realize that, hey, any team is capable of beating you or certainly pushing you to the edge, I think it allows the coaching staff to emphasize a little bit more the importance of being totally focused and not take games for granted and not looking ahead to Omaha.
Charlie, we discussed this yesterday. So now you've had another look at it. You've had 24 hours to digest, but you had a second look at LSU versus Arkansas Little Rock. So now in the Sunday game, you still putting that much emphasis on that they didn't respect their opponent, that they overlooked them?
I think that was part of it. They had also played almost perfect baseball through the first 2 games. I mean, they
perfect pitching.
Perfect pitching. They didn't make an error. I mean, they hit throughout the lineup. They scored in, I think it was 11 out of 16 innings in the first 2 games. They had played about as clean as you can play. So there was going to be some regression and maybe a little bit of a letdown when Dallas Baptist got beat Sunday afternoon. I believe that. And also, I think that we probably need to give Little Rock a little more credit than we did. They had some injuries late in the season that kind of prompted that losing streak. They're probably a little bit better than their record, but their record is what it is, and that's why we looked at it the way we did. So a little bit of everything.
Yep. So it's set up, but 9 of the 13 SEC teams are gone.
Just 4 left. That's it. Again, Texas and Vanderbilt are the 2 that are supposed to be there. They were the 1 and 2 seeds. I'm saying Texas and Vanderbilt were the 1 and 2 seeds. Yeah, Ole Miss is supposed to win too, but Texas and Vanderbilt are the 1 and 2 seeds. Yeah. I mean, they are heavy favorites to advance to the super regional round, and neither one of them did.
Yeah. But I think that Texas had a tougher regional than Ole Miss did.
In retrospect, yeah. Murray State getting there. Texas San Antonio is a real threat to be in Omaha. I mean, that's almost a coin flip out at UCLA this weekend. I like Coastal
but Dallas Baptist had a better RPI.
I don't like the fact that Tennessee and Arkansas are playing in the same super regional. You should not. It's kind of like in the NCAA March Madness. You really should not have 2 conference teams facing each other until it gets to Omaha. So it does a disservice to the conference.
Well, when you get 13, Andy, I mean, if all advance, you'd have 5 super regionals with them, with them facing each other. So it's just, At some point, when you got 75 teams in your conference, and I exaggerate and make it a little fun, but this is the price of doing business when you have these ridiculous amount of teams in your conference.
Yeah, and they're all very good, as I say, probably the best balanced and the deepest of the collegiate baseball conferences. But then again, 9 going down, including numbers 1 and number 2. Sort of shows that, again, you get hot at the right time, you take advantage of breaks, and who knows how far you can go. I like this Arkansas team, and I like the pedigree that they have. They've been, a national program for decades.
The best home record, I believe, of anybody remaining, and maybe of anybody, period, is what Arkansas's got. And you got a team coming in that has a reputation for, shall we say, just pushing the emotional envelope a little bit. Are you waiting on this one?
The coach and the players are a-holes.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I was trying to
flat
be nice.
out. No, I'm sorry. I've seen enough. It's too much. It's just it's ridiculous, Charlie. It is.
No.
Your player. You don't see that. I didn't see that. There's a lot of emotion. There's a lot at stake in all of these games. Okay, yesterday, 6. Nobody's acting like that. Nobody. Nobody.
I was expecting a little bit of something to maybe break out with Wade. These teams just played at Baum 3 weeks ago. They played the final season in
Arkansas won 2 out of 3.
Arkansas won 2 out of 3. They lost the Friday night game, lost the Thursday night game, and won the last 2.
Andy, who you on tomorrow night? Game 1, Stanley Cup Finals. To Thursday night, it is Game 1 of the NBA Finals.
Yeah, I haven't really decided on the hockey yet. I like both of these teams. Obviously, it's a rematch from last year when Florida beat the Oilers. They had somewhat similar records in the regular season this year. It's hard not to like the way Florida's been playing defense, and if they, they the old adage, and it goes through in, defense stops a good offense, or in baseball, good pitching beats good hitting. I think I have to like Florida as an underdog to win at least one of the first 2 games. So I could see this series probably going 6, possibly 7. So I think it's going to, I don't know that either team will be up 3-1 or 2-0 in this series.
Yeah,
I'll be on Florida tomorrow.
Are you jumping on the bandwagon here? A lot of people are just looked at this, think this is going to be a mismatch between OKC and Indiana.
No, I'm actually looking to see where this line goes in before Thursday. If it keeps going up higher, I'm going to be on Indiana. People, for some reason, they continue to disrespect what the Pacers have done. They had that poor start to the season in November and December, but since January, they've been one of the top teams, one of the more consistent teams in the league. They handled Cleveland easily. They handled Milwaukee in the first round. The Knicks took them to 6 games, but Game 5 was sort of a throwaway for the Pacers, leading 3-1. I think OKC deserves to be favored, but I'm not so sure that the price of minus 650 thereabouts. I wonder how much of that reflects the liability that the books may have on OKC from some of the money that they took in the early part of the season, that they need to balance the books a little bit and make Indiana a little bit more attractive. Because I think on its own, that line seems a little bit too high. And they're basically, a line like that says, if Indiana wins a game, they'll be fortunate. They shouldn't win more than one. And that's why you're seeing even big prices for OKC to win the series I think it's plus 300 for a sweep. I think it's a little bit lower than that to win in 5 and certainly in 6. So I'm going to be on Indiana. I usually like to play competitive teams to win or to cover, maybe even win outright one of the first 2 games on the road. And Oklahoma City, they've been dominant at times, but so has Indiana. Of course, Indiana's had a lot of games where they've either had to hold on for leads or come from behind. But OKC got a good test from an experienced Denver team. So, they have shown some vulnerabilities, but I have to say, I love the way this OKC team plays defense. Indiana's defense, not nearly as good, but not as bad as a lot of people assume because of their high offensive efficiency rate.
You know what happened yesterday? We talk about this a lot in other sports, but college baseball being a low volume betting sport, but this time of the year it does pick up a little bit. The zigzag theory. So all of these teams who played yesterday, all 6 games, were rematches of games played Sunday. One team followed up a win on Sunday with a win yesterday. That was Oregon State. All the other 5 Whoever won on Sunday lost last night.
I wish that USC team that showed up yesterday would have showed up on Friday when I went against them instead of scoring 13 runs like with the 27 Yankees or something.
I wish I would have backed up my zigzag theory last night instead of playing it the way I did. So this is it's funny how that works. So, but this is a completely different level, more level playing field, more competitive. This is the March Madness is broken out. It's May June Madness.
The thing that's different, remember the zigzag theory was in the NBA was really, really on fire. Maybe 25 years ago, and it's cool since then. It's not been nearly as effective. But keep in mind the difference between baseball and the difference between basketball is in basketball you're basically facing the same lineup, the same rosters, the same starting five, etc., game after game after game. Whereas in baseball, the starting pitching is radically different from one game to the next. So sometimes some coaches will say, let's go with our ace in game number one, get out to an early lead. And others will say, let's go with our second best pitcher in game number one and save our ace for game number two, where we need to win either to get even or to take a 2-0 lead or to eliminate a team in game two.
Real quick football question for you. What did Detroit won 15 games last year? Everybody's back. I mean, everything's stable. You are losing an offensive, both coordinators.
Yeah.
All right. The schedule is tougher. You lost your center yesterday. Their win total is Hutchinson. You think he'll projected to play more games than he did last year. Their total is 10.5. In tougher schedule. What's your thoughts about that? We're going to ask Randy McKay more about it, but your thoughts, Andy?
Well, you do have to wonder how much they're going to miss the offensive coordinator Johnson that was over at coaching the Bears. That's got to have an impact, although I need to do a little bit more work on who's remaining on the staff and see if it's going to be as big a drop-off as some people suggest. Detroit was very good last year, especially splitting the time between the two great running backs. And, of course, Goff had a really solid season. So the nucleus is there. I do wonder how much the loss of the center is going to hurt, certainly early in the season. The division overall seems to be stronger, especially with what they've surrounded Caleb Williams with in Chicago. And, of course, you do have the new coach there as well to put some wrinkles in there as well. Minnesota seems to be a solid team. Green Bay is a team that's not getting a lot of attention. I think a lot of people look at Jordan Love showing a little bit of regression last year, but I'm not so sure that he wasn't bothered by that injury that he got in that first game in Brazil that lingered throughout the course of the season. So I can understand why the season win total appears low, because they're going up against three other opponents in the division, all of whom, and I'm going to throw Chicago in there as well, have an opportunity, have the talent at least to make the playoffs. I still think Detroit will be able to win 11 or 12 games because they're not going to go 0-6 in the division. Maybe they go 3-3, so they still have 11 games of the 6 non-division games to pile up at least 8 out of the 11. I can see them doing that. Of course, Hutchinson does have to be healthy, and we don't know how much they're going to miss Aaron Glenn as far as running the defense is concerned. So we'll keep an eye on them during training camp, to a lesser extent in the preseason games, because you don't do in the preseason games what you do, but you also want to see how healthy they're going to be. I would tend to look over the 10.5. But I haven't played it yet.
Follow Andy on Twitter at VegasAndy711. He's with us each and every Tuesday. Andy, good luck to you this weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
You as well, guys. Take care.
All right, don't forget our friends at Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Does your homeowners association require windows like mine? Well, this is the place to go. From the initial consultation, someone will come to your home and evaluate the situation, get out the computer, do a rendering, adjust, and exactly, kind of fine-tune it and custom build it to your liking. We send off the plans to our manufacturer, and when it comes in, we schedule an installation time. They're on time, calling. Very polite people, professional people when they show up. They're on time. They do their work. They clean up after themselves. And you get the best of both worlds. You get a great-looking window that's functional and that will last. That's right. Limited lifetime warranty. We guarantee you complete satisfaction for years to come and provide the highest quality of service that there is around. Do like I did when you need some wood windows. Call Relief Windows at 288-8138 and ReliefWindows.com.
Live at Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
We're here to examine things that get better with age, like this bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, vintage 1877. Age can make things more valuable, like this Picasso from his blue period, 1904. And treasured, like this Roto-Rooter jingle, 1954.
Roto-Rooter jingle?
Just listen to it.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And the wingo trebles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Timeless melody.
Roto-Rooter?
The lithe arrangement.
But it's a clog-busting company.
Wrong there. Roto-Rooter has grown into more than a clog-busting company. They're North America's largest full-service plumber and drain cleaner. And when you need Roto-Rooter, remembering this jingle can be priceless.
Roto-Rooter.
For all of your plumbing and drainage solutions, call Roto-Rooter in Baton Rouge at 925-8710. That's 925-8710. The new location of Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Wesley across from Mike Anderson's. Man, the place looks great. Lots of indoor and outdoor seating options with plenty of big TVs to watch all your favorite games. All of the traditional Mexican cuisine with a great happy hour, 2:30 to 6:30, 7 days a week. Plus, $5 margaritas all day, all night on Wednesdays. Great spot to bring the baseball team in between games, just 5 minutes north of Traction and 5 minutes south of LSU. Los Reyes Mexican Grill, 1072 West Lee, near Nicholson.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit ruffinosrestaurant.com. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference, all in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net.
Now, everybody's been to Louis Cafe by campus. Heck, it's been around since over 80 years now. We're still doing delicious omelets like the Mitchell, cheesy grits, Big Cheesy Lou, and those Louis Original Cajun hash browns. We now offer a pickup window. Just call in your order at 346-8221. Give us 15 or 20 minutes. We'll have it ready for you. Our hours are now 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., 7 days a week. So next time you visit campus, make it a point to stop by and visit an old friend. Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners. When it comes to retirement, there are no two situations alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you, your business partners, your legal team, and tax professionals to make sure those goals are achieved. Coastal Capital Advisors will work for you. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his great staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Edge Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Running a business can be difficult enough without the right relationship with your bank. With United Community Bank's local business bankers, you're not just a number, you're a partner. Contact Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Thunder Creed, David Campbell, or David Henry to discuss how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 60 years. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Live at lunch with Ott and Yanni from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
With the 16 teams set now for the Super Regionals, we've got updated odds to win the whole thing. It's basically a coin flip whether the favorite is Arkansas or LSU. Depends on kind of what site you look at. We're looking at Bet Rivers here. Arkansas is plus 325 and LSU is plus 350. Max, you said you've seen that reversed at some other places.
It's
basically a coin flip. Four SEC teams remaining. They are four of the top five choices. It's Arkansas, LSU, followed by North Carolina and Tennessee, who are both at plus 700, and Auburn at plus 800. Interesting that Tennessee is so high, despite the fact that by far the highest, best odds for anybody, shortest odds for any team that's going on the road. Florida State and Oregon State at plus 1,500, along with Coastal Carolina. West Virginia, the second longest shot on the board at plus 7,500. I think they're much better than the 15th best team, but I understand that coming to LSU is going to hurt their odds. And Murray State, the longest shot remaining in the field at plus 10,000.
They've had some pretty good success on the road last two. They've won 3 straight regionals on the road. They went to go on the road last year's regional. They went to Tucson and won that super regional, their first ever trip, first ever win. And then they went on the road and won the Clemson regional.
They won 24 games on the road this year. They're a pretty good road team.
Won the regular season title in the Big 12.
Take a time out. Hour number 2 at Mike Anderson's 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars. Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources will help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in LaPlace and Plaquemine. If you're near the north side of campus, I need to remind you about a couple of longtime favorites. Highland Coffee's the original specialty coffee shop in Baton Rouge since the 1980s. My personal favorite. Love getting my cappuccino from their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Roasted right in the shop. Louis Cafe for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. The Mitchell omelet, Cajun hash browns, Big Cheesy Lou, all served up in that famous open kitchen atmosphere. In Tigertown since 1941. A couple of great spots. Highland Coffee's and Louis Cafe just outside the north gates of LSU.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. If you have more questions and answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by your local Edward Jones advisor. Text Morris on Jefferson. Edward Jones, member SIPC. The Grand Bayou Casino, conveniently located off I-10 at exit 139 in Gross Tech, offers the latest video poker machines 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And a great staff at the Grand Bayou Casino. Our inviting staff will greet you with complimentary coffee and sodas as you enjoy listening to the curated tunes in our comfortable seating. Make the trip to Grand Bayou Casino, where players are welcome. The Grand Bayou Casino, I-10 at the Gross Tech exit. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-877-770-STOP. The Grand Bayou Casino.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will tailor a plan for your family's needs, no matter your age or your financial situation. The bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you and build a lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Join us June 6th and 7th in Port Allen for our grand reopening celebration. Fun for the family, water slides for the kids, food, giveaways, and huge deals. Simmons Outdoor Power, 2110 American Way, Port Allen, and online at SimmonsOutdoorPower.com.
Insurance companies have teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7970.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative disease, and we need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana, Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS, and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit ALS.org to learn more. That's ALS.org.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. Live at lunch, first class.
I want a seat in first class where I was booked and ticketed over a month ago.
Second class.
No man should be subjected to the indignity of being labeled or treated like a second-class citizen.
And no class.
Life had become like school on Sunday. No class. I'll tell you what then. Why don't you call me sometime when you have no class?
First class, second class, and no class. Brought to you by Supreme Rice. Buy local with Louisiana-based Supreme Rice since 1936.
And we return here at Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch. Come by and see us right here in the Oyster Bar, man. Just love it when those when the smoke comes.
Let me
off
clarify
the grill.
something, Charlie.
That
West
smells
Virginia has not won 3 straight regionals. They won 2 straight regionals. They lost the Super because they were in Chapel Hill last year.
They would have come here.
So they were undefeated in the Tucson regional last year. Undefeated this year in the Clemson regional. So they get into the minimum 3 games. So they were sitting on the sideline for 2 years in a row watching LSU play a game 7 where they were coming to Baton Rouge if LSU won.
1 for 2, huh?
And LSU was 4 outs away.
Yeah.
Last year in Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
This year they held on and come from behind from 4 runs to end. So West Virginia, of course, is a much longer trip than it is from Morgantown to Clemson, South Carolina. But and you notice this as well. I think there are going to be some people here, and that road record is unreal for a major conference team, huh?
Yeah. Now let me give you a little context to it. Okay, they played exactly 1 home game in the first month of the season, so they had to go on the road. I mean, they can't play in Morgantown in February. So there's 4 games against Jacksonville, who was about a 500 team, 4 wins against Lipscomb, who was about a 500 team, 4 wins against Queens, and that was in a tournament.
Queens, North Carolina, by the way.
Queens, North Carolina. 4 wins there. Now they did well in conference play too. But when you say
how many road series do they have? Where'd they go?
They went to Oklahoma State.
That's tough.
They only got 1 game in because of the rain. They won it. They went to BYU. They took 2 out of 3 there. They scored 39 runs in the last 2 games in the light air. They won 3 games at Houston, who was a little bit better than a 500 team this year.
Down for their standards, though.
Yes. They won 3 games at UCF, who was a little bit better, 3 games over 500 for the season. They lost 2 of 3 at Kansas State. So there's a lot of games in here. It's not like they played North Carolina, Clemson, and Duke or something like that.
Well, they're not in that conference. I mean,
no.
The best in the Big 12 has to be Kansas State.
Arizona was very good this year.
Arizona, who they did not play. Arizona State got in.
They actually did play Arizona. They played them at home. Arizona took 2 or 3 in Morgantown.
So did you saw what Arizona State's doing with their baseball?
I saw that they were awarding 34 scholarships.
Full.
Yeah, 34 full scholarships. Yeah. They are making a commitment to bringing that program. Look, they've got so much history there. Arizona State. I mean, Reggie Jackson played there, but they have fallen off. They're not like the rest of the West Coast teams. I mean, you can see Stanford in the tournament this year. Cal State Fullerton hasn't been good in almost a decade now. Those old powerhouses. Now USC got back in the tournament this year. Those old powerhouses, they just aren't what they used to be, and Arizona State wants to be again.
Well, they're out west. They're not on the coast. They're in the desert, but they're also in a metropolitan area, and they're in a pro market. But one underrated thing, Charlie, when you're touring campuses, you always want to check out the campus pool.
Oh, okay.
Number 1 on my list.
And I forgot to do that one.
The Tempe, the on-campus pool is massive, and it's a good quality crowd.
It is not a bad place to hang out. A couple times I've been to Tempe, Phoenix.
You been in the pool?
No, I didn't. I forgot to go to the pool because I went in February or late February, early March. So no, I did not.
The pool, Charlie. The pool, it's
I'm
just
sure it
fine
was-
that
I'm-
time
I'm
of the
sure-
year.
I'm
That
sure
time
it
of the
was.
year in Tempe is ideal, actually.
Didn't
Yes.
didn't cross my mind at the time. All right, first class. Just to stay on the the theme here, not to be repetitive, but this was really fun baseball to watch. This regional had a little bit of everything. Like I said at the top, great individual performances, some drama, a spunky underdog, a favorite that got got rocked on Sunday and came back and did it. And for Case and Evans, it's one of those. Look, I could sit here and list baseball superlatives for LSU all day. Watched a bunch of them in person. It was a long, long list. Case to crack that thing of we remember that game in the postseason. You got to do a lot, man. There's 7 flags flying over there. Case and Evans is 9 strikeouts in a row. I'll remember him taking that team when they absolutely had to have it. Ethan Fry going 4 for 4, and I give Jared Jones a lot of credit, man. I said this yesterday. You get players at this point in their final year, and it's very easy to start pressing. You want to make the big play. Your draft stock is on the line. You've got all of this pressure on you, and I think that Jones was really fighting it for the last few weeks. They dropped him in the lineup last night, and whether it was that or something else, he goes 2 for 5, and hits one over the fence. So good for him. I give him all credit. I give Little Rock first class, man. They weren't supposed to be in the tournament. Would have been easy to pack your bags, go 2 in the Ohio Valley and say, man, look, we're done. Nope. Get here, get beat 7-0 in the first game. Maybe we're over our head. Nope. Came back, fought through the losers bracket, gave LSU all they wanted. Loved the coach, Chris Curry. I thought he was tremendous all weekend. So I just give the whole thing a first class for the regional. We saw a lot of stuff that we'll remember.
Saturday, Arkansas Little Rock was 7.5 point underdog, 7.5 run rather underdog. Sorry, Skip. Underdogs. So that's how close this was. The fun thing of it, this was not an on paper regional. There's nothing, very, very little from when we try and break down stats and resumes and things like that. Very little translated. But your words, Charlie, the 7 flags. So, but I mean, your initial reaction historically? Where is this? Is it top 5, top 10 regionals? I mean,
I can't necessarily.
You mentioned 97, right?
Yeah, 97. It came out of the losers bracket. Those are the ones I tend to remember where they got themselves in a bind. And they were in a little bit of a bind here. They were down 5-1, but it was still in the 3rd inning. It's up there, man. It's up there, and it's not because the opponent was somebody as good as some of those Long Beach teams or Cal State Fullertons, but it's up there. Evans's performance is up there. Fry's performance is up there.
You'd not give him. You don't want to put a numerical.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay. Well, you said 7 flags.
Yeah.
So does this one have to finish off and be one of add one of those flags
and see that
to be memorable? I mean, because it means more when it leads into a national championship.
No,
for obvious reasons.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
The regional itself doesn't, because some of those games, the 1991. Do you remember anything about the 91 regional?
Absolutely.
And
it reminded me of last night. It reminded me of a freshman pitcher coming on and said, "Man, we got a damn good number 3."
Yeah,
and that was Mike Soroka
okay.
against Texas A&M, who was the number 2 seed of that 6-team regional.
But what I remember about the 91 regional is they beat the crap out of everybody.
Oh no, it was a dominant performance, and it was a stepping stone for him. You had to win the first 2. It was the marble game. Both teams were undefeated at that point. So it was a very big game, a big stage against a much different caliber opponent on paper than Little Rock. But he was super, and he went on to be a big piece, in Omaha in 91 and 93.
He was great. But were those close games? I don't remember there being close games.
But they were. LSU had no championships at that point. LSU may have had better teams in the late 80s.
Let me try again. The 2000 regional. You remember anything about that? LSU won 3 games, but I want to say 35-4 or something like that.
No.
So they won a championship that year. But I don't. That regional wasn't particularly memorable because LSU was so much better than everybody else.
I think the USC regional in the first trip to Omaha with the Brett Boone.
That was a great
was
regional.
massive.
Yeah, it was
like
magical.
9, 8, 10, 9, 8, back and
because
forth.
you had to be in the park. You couldn't watch it on TV. Every nook and cranny of Alec Box was filled. I think about the 98 regional where they fell behind. I think it was 7 or 8 runs to Cal State Fullerton. Now they didn't win a championship that year. They came damn close.
That was 98.
That was 98.
Fullerton.
That was the year they came back. It was Brandon Bowe. Yeah, Cressy hit a grand slam over
97. Obviously, you talk about the Long Beach State.
The Long Beach State game. Yeah, they had fallen into the losers bracket. That one's going to be hard to top for me, just because of the drama in that 97 that Sunday night game and having to win 2 the next day. Skip got tossed.
A few games.
Yeah, so it's up there. It's up there. The other first class I wanted to give out was LSU Shreveport finished it off, man. 59 and
get a lot of national attention, man.
They're going to the White House.
Oh, really?
They're going to the White House. President Trump invited them to the White House. Of course, Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, is from Louisiana, and he was, kind of facilitate a little bit. But yeah, I don't think the NAIA. I know the national champions in Division I and all that always go. I don't think the NAIA champions get an automatic invite to the White House. So this is pretty cool. 59-0 is a video game number. It's not realistic. I mean, you can't ever expect the greatest baseball teams we've ever seen. So congratulations to those guys. And they were trailing in the last game.
Oh, really?
Not by a lot. I think it was by 1 or 2, but in the 5th or 6th inning. And when you won 58 in a row and the national championship's on the line and you're 5 or 6 innings deep and you're behind. Okay.
Who'd they play? Little Rock Eunice?
They played Incarnate.
Not Incarnate Word.
Not Incarnate Word. No. It's something else like that. Max, they won the national championship last year. They played that something Hope. You got it. You'll find it.
Hope Haven.
No, it's nobody I've ever heard of. They're playing the thing up in Idaho, right? The
NAIA World Series is in Idaho.
Lewiston, Idaho. But I'm blanking on who they
southeastern of Florida, I believe.
Southeastern of Florida.
Only
Hope International was the semifinal game.
Semifinal game. Okay, Hope International.
Incarnate International.
Hope International, which I'm sorry sounds like a charity. I mean, we're raising money for underprivileged kids, but they had won the national championship last year.
I think Hope Haven's a retreat house by Archbishop Shaw. So
may very well be. Second class, good with a chance to be great. This hire caught our attention for sure at Mississippi State. Brian O'Connor coming over from Virginia. O'Connor's about as accomplished a resume as you're going to be able to hire. In his time at Virginia from 2004 to 2025, they won 61% of their conference games. He won 70% of his games overall. He made the College World Series 6 times, won it once, and played for a championship another time and were the runners-up. Jimmy, what do we like to do when we talk about coaches? How were they before you?
How did they? What did they inherit, and what did they leave behind? And did he improve the? And he's. Would you say it's tougher to win on a national level in the ACC right now because they're not getting the overall revenue?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's kind of one of the points I want to make. They had made the tournament 3 times in their history prior to him getting there in 2004.
I didn't know it was that bad.
Just 3 times in their history, and he made the College World Series 7 times. And like I said, they won it, and they were runners-up. So, yeah.
Runner-up to LSU? No.
No, they were run-up to
No, they beat – LSU beat them in that national championship year in their bracket. Right?
Yeah. That was in 2009, and they lost the World Series to Oregon. Was it Oregon State? I'm trying to remember. They beat Vandy. That's what it was. They lost to Vandy. Anyway,
and who did they beat?
I think the same team. I think they beat Vandy and lost to Vandy in those 2.
Okay.
Anyway, they. O'Connor's been in demand. He has been offered other jobs. There was a time when I thought that he was going to be the coach that followed Paul Mainieri here. He'd been on Mainieri's staff at Notre Dame. They were close friends. He was if Maneri had stayed here another few years and retired, I think that O'Connor might have, taken a long look at this job. The timing didn't work out, whatever. But this is a hell of a hire for Mississippi State, and it tells you that we talk about this a lot. SEC and Big Ten money, and Big Ten in basketball and football mostly, but the difference between the ACC and the SEC on the field may not be that much this year. There's 5 teams left from the ACC. There's 4 teams left from the SEC, but the budgets in most cases are not close. And these coaches are realizing that, and they're like, "Yeah, I'll move on down the road." I don't know if 5 years ago, I don't know if 3 years ago, Brian O'Connor takes this job. As good a job as Mississippi State is, there's plenty of budget there. You have a facility that's second to none. You've got a passionate fan base. You've got a lot of history there. But I don't know if he takes this job 5 years ago. The budget's now, he's taking it now, and I'll be surprised if he's not. I'll be surprised if he's not successful there. Really successful. Very good coach.
I was surprised how accomplished he is, how young he is, and this.
Thank you, Jimmy. He's my age.
Yeah, but I mean, it's,
I'm
when
joking,
they were
I'm joking.
when you were talking about bringing him over here, I thought he was a little bit further along.
Yeah,
my bad.
No,
but this kind of completes the picture. Because come on, man, State, really, come on, man, you're gonna fire the coach in season. And I still think they could have made this hire and let Lamonis finish out the season.
I do too. And
that's the only thing I have. But when you have a guy like this ready to come, I mean, yeah, I would. I'm fine. And since the national championship, Mississippi State is an underachiever. The program is underachieved, but you still got to. I think they should have let the guy, finish off the season, but they didn't. But the other thing is, Mississippi State had to promise O'Connor some player budget.
Yeah.
Some, they call it NIL budget. It's player salary, and whatever it is. And so, we talked about it a lot. In the Big East, which is a very good basketball conference, all the Big East coaches are trying to get in the SEC, trying to get that player budget. And we saw one of them make a big jump. And Sean Miller, from Xavier, to Texas. Got to be the same way right now with the ACC, and especially they're not even on the highest tier of the revenue distribution, in the ACC. So he's come in. Mississippi State might not be on the upper half of or not even close even to the middle as far as overall. They still got a hell of a baseball budget. Speaking nationally, where's the baseball budget rank in the SEC, Charlie?
I would say in the top quarter, in the top 4.
Yes,
top 4
yeah.
5.
Yeah,
somewhere like
Tennessee, LSU, Arkansas, and State.
Right.
Where do we put Texas?
Texas. Yeah, maybe top 6 would be a little bit safer, but it's up there.
I think, man, that facility is nobody's got anything like that.
No, it's a second to
and
none.
So that's part of it.
Second to none facility for sure. So Brian O'Connor going from Virginia to Mississippi State. And they played Vandy in the finals back-to-back years.
Keep in mind that national championship season, Charlie, they needed to win their final series against North Carolina to qualify for the ACC tournament.
Yes, I remember.
They got in as a 3, went out to the West Coast and won, but then hosted a super against Maryland, losing in the 9th inning on their game 3, and a 2-out, 2-run single to walk it off. And then they went into Omaha.
They were 15-15 in the league in the ACC that year. No class was pretty easy this week. Kevin O'Sullivan, who is a tremendously accomplished baseball coach at Florida, has won a national championship, has played for other national championships. Really, really embarrassed himself at the Coastal Carolina regional because, get this now, the game was moved back 1 hour. Now, I could get into a whole thing about the frustrations around rain delays and all that stuff, but there is video, and I don't know if he would have copped to all of this if there wouldn't have been a video, but there's a video of him basically dog cussing the NCAA rep that was there on site and the associate athletic director from Coastal Carolina, who was their liaison as far as game management and stuff like that. I mean, dressing them down like they were, kids, not even on his team, but, like they were 12-year-olds. And to their credit, they sat there and they let him have his say. But that video got out, and O'Sullivan was forced to issue an apology pretty much after Scott Strickland, the athletic director, damn near came out and I want to say forced him, but he came out and apologized first. I saw his statement first saying, we don't condone this. We told Sully this is not acceptable in any way, shape, or form that you act like this. And O'Sullivan, to his credit, did apologize, but there was no need for it in the first place. They moved the game back an hour. Now, I'm going to say this, and I ain't going to belabor the point very long, but I do think that the NCAA, at the prodding of coaches, has erred a little bit too much on the side of caution. I understand rain delays. I understand lightning delays. I understand player safety, and I'm for all of that. But this is twice in 3 years that we've sat here between 5 and 8 hours with not a drop of rain and lightning almost a state over. Okay, so I do think you can get a little bit overcautious with that stuff. But Sully did this on an hour delay. Man, give me a break.
I would add too, Charlie. There was an East Carolina player who said he was cursing them out as they came on the field. So cursing out the opposing team's players.
Yeah, you don't talk to other teams.
Yeah. You said Coastal. The NCAA representative for the regional was a Coastal guy?
No, there's a regional rep that the NCAA sends that usually
right. Okay. And then I'm just clarifying.
You have and plus
it sounded like you said it was.
There were two of them there. The event manager for Coastal Carolina was standing with the NCAA rep, and he was dog cussing both of them. So it's bad look, and a definite no class.
He's mad he doesn't have any player budget.
First class, second class, no class. Brought
how do all we've accomplished here? We don't have any player budget.
By Supreme Rice. They barely had a crowd at the stadium. Supreme Rice, supremerice.com. You're making jambalayas, you're making stews, you're making red beans, you're making white beans, you tailgating this fall, make it with Supreme Rice. The Powerball rice, Jimmy's favorite, but you can also get the jasmine, the long grain, the medium grain, the brown rice. Pick it up at all your AG food stores, all your Walmarts, all your Rouses, and look for the climate smart labeling on the packaging for future generations of Louisiana farmers. They're promoting methane emission reductions and water conservation. Been around since the 1930s, Supreme Rice and supremerice.com.
Real quick to clarify on O'Connor. They've never been to Omaha. They've barely been to region. 7 times they've been to Omaha.
Yeah.
7 times in Omaha. There's roughly 20 years in Charlottesville. With it, that's impressive.
Live at Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch. Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
This is Charles Henniger for Total Maintenance for AC and heating, generators, electricity, and plumbing. Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all of these needs. Service today, every day. That's their slogan at Total Maintenance, so nobody ever has to go to sleep hot. Over the years, Total Maintenance has expanded into the New Orleans area, as well as their offices in Baton Rouge with full staffs in both markets. Call 480-1000 in Baton Rouge or in New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance. This is Charles Henniger for Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike, so Coastal Capital Advisors will tailor a plan for your family's needs, no matter your age or your financial situation. The bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you and build a lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111 and OCBrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Text Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance and Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt.
Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars: Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources will help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in LaPlace and Plaquemine.
By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crowntown Room at Go's Eat Place. Crowntown Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze for the perfect blend of sweet and spicy. You can't go wrong also with the flash-fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Go's Eat Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
The Grand Bayou Casino, conveniently located off I-10 at exit 139 in Gross-Ted, offers the latest video poker machines 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Got a great staff at the Grand Bayou Casino. Our inviting staff will greet you with complimentary coffee and sodas as you enjoy listening to the curated tunes in our comfortable seating. Make the trip to Grand Bayou Casino, where players are welcome. The Grand Bayou Casino, I-10 at the Gross-Ted exit. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-877-770-STOP. The Grand Bayou Casino.
Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference, all in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net. The Chuck Oliver Show, weeknights at 6 on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge. Live at lunch with Ott and Annie from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
And we're also brought to you by the Thibodeau Store. Father's Day just around the corner right now. Cajun cooking, specialty cookware shipped right to your door. Easy, easy. DoItBest.com/Thibodeau Store. Lots of specials on the website right now. Your summer projects, pressure washers are on special right now. A lot of your gardening and outdoor power equipment at the website. And for your enjoyment, tons of grills and griddles, plus the Big Green Egg cookers are all available at the Thibodeau Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau. And unique gifts for Dad that include the homemade cypress furniture, the rockers, the gliders, the benches, the swings, all available at the Thibodeau Store. And, of course, the Pierre Part Store, their sister property down in Pierre Part for over 113 years. Thibodeau Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau, and online, doitbest.com/Thibodeau Store.
Love it, man. Outdoor, you like to do any type of outdoor cooking, outdoor kitchen, tailgating, festivals, you name it. I mean, on-site fairs, whatever. I mean, whether it's seafood boils, whether it's grilling, whether it's just outdoor kitchens, mobile, outdoor kitchens, single, double, triple burners. I mean, everything you can imagine, man. It is awesome. You want to do something really nice for Dad? He likes to do that outdoor cooking. Man, load him up with some accessories. Just some new equipment from the Pierre Port Star and also the Thibodeau Store.
All right. Give me a quick thought on the rest of these super regionals. Miami and Louisville, neither one of these teams was supposed to be there. Both of them get through. I didn't get a chance to see very much of Louisville. They were a power for a while. They had dropped off in recent years, but they get back there against Miami.
Yeah, they kind of, they took advantage of, some of the big boys, losing in that regional. But they, I thought they were going to headed to Hattiesburg, and I watched them in the ACC tournament. Less than impressive, I've got to say. I think one and done. I think they
they were. They lost a wild game to Pitt. It was like 13
Pitt
to 11.
Not good.
No, and they had lost their last 3 series going into that.
So
And then-
this is my least juice type of
Yeah.
regional. Miami does not have the lineup or the overall pitching. Former pitcher JT Arteaga is the head coach there, but man, they could still pick it. And I
Yeah.
thought they made some key fielding plays, last night to kind of hold on to that victory at Southern Miss. So it's kind of this is the least juice super of the 8 for me.
Florida State will take top 10 pick Jamie Arnold on the road at Corvallis at Oregon
Form
State.
holds in one.
Yeah,
One bracket. The 2 seeds, 8 versus 9. The
only 3 out of the 8 did the seeds hold.
I thought Oregon State did a really nice job and responded. They didn't have a close game after they dropped their first one and put themselves in a hole where they had to win 4 in a row. And the 2 where USC's got their pitching set up more than Oregon State, and they just shut them down. So is there a longer flight that has to be made from Tallahassee, Florida to Corvallis? Where do you fly in to go to Corvallis?
Moscow.
No, you don't.
No, that's Pullman. I'm sorry. You fly
No,
into
you
Moscow, Idaho.
I mean, people went there. So do you fly into Portland?
I guess.
I think so. I think some
yeah.
people told me they flew into Portland.
That's Arizona to Chapel Hill is a pretty good flight too. That's another of these
Tallahassee
these
to Portland. That's a joke. Form holds. This is an even Steven. I think the people, the odds makers give Arnold a little bit of that respect, but Oregon State may have. This is a good sign. It was an important sign, not just for them this year, but moving forward. This is one of the stronger baseball programs of this generation. And let's face it, their athletic department's been kind of sucker punched pretty good. And, the baseball program is very important for them to have some on-field success to keep their boosters and their limited supporters, keep them excited about the program. I thought there was a big deal. I think this is the most competitive series. Or one of the most.
8 versus 9. It's supposed to be. Arizona goes to North Carolina. If I could look, I love
Charlie,
LSU.
You say it's supposed to be. This is not.
No,
the paper has not applied to the field
has,
for this tournament so far. So it might be 8-0, but both games. Who knows?
Arizona at North Carolina. If I could switch places with anybody, and LSU's gotten a lot of breaks here, it would be North Carolina. I think they're in a great position here to advance, and they're on a little bit of a slightly easier draw in Omaha should they get there. But North Carolina, big favorite against Arizona.
Yeah, minus 330 down the street at the Queen, and no, that's
second biggest behind LSU.
Yeah, no, Duke is minus 380 against 4 seed Murray State. So it's North Carolina might have avoided that elimination game yesterday, and they were impressive. Right out the chute, they got 2 up, 2 down, and then they still get 3 runs out the inning. It was they took care of business. It's kind of a neat little atmosphere as well. And some of these college stadiums are just fun, but they're favored to do so, but I wouldn't be shocked if Arizona is more competitive than these odds indicate.
I like North Carolina an awful lot there. Coastal Carolina at Auburn. 13 versus 4.
Where does Coastal get this pitching?
I don't know, but they've won 21 games in a row.
And Auburn took care of business. The minimum 3 games. They're excited as hell about trying to get back. I thought they were the value because I thought they would be a top 8 seed for months, and I took them at 40-1 to win the whole thing, 4-1 to get to Omaha. So I'm vested here, Charlie, but I think it's going to be a hell of a series. I hope that crowd means a little something.
I do too. I think Coastal's got a real chance here. All Auburn can do is you beat who you put in front of you. Central Connecticut, Stetson, and then you get North Carolina State coming out of the losers bracket. I would be a touch concerned because Sam Dutton had another not so great outing for them, and he was just absolutely fantastic through the first 3 months of the season. Was tapering off there a little bit at the end. I think Coastal's got a real shot in that regional.
But this is the only other one besides Oregon State and Florida State where form is held. The 2 hosts are in
Tennessee and Arkansas too.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Very good.
Three out of
them.
eight. Texas San Antonio going to UCLA.
Texas San Antonio was my pick to win the Texas Regional.
Good call. I didn't think they would beat Texas.
They
again.
did by plus 300 to plus 400 to win it. They dominated a decent league over the course of the regular season. They just didn't do it in the tournament, where East Carolina and Tulane stole a bid there. The East Carolina beating Tulane, and it's not just winning in Texas, but how they did it, Charlie. They fell behind Texas 7-1. That's a tough team to come back from 7-1 in Austin. And then it's not even close. They put the hammer down and beat them 7-2 to close it out. So those, it's not just that they came out, but they were really impressed. How many teams fall behind 7-1 against a number two national seed and come back and do it? UCLA is playing as good as anybody in the country. They are impressive on the mound. They are. We talked about that UC Irvine team. They're really good. They wiped them out in this regional. They're playing. Their form is really good. This is one of the more fun regionals, and Texas San Antonio is getting a lot more respect now with the minus 180 plus 145 odds.
UTSA 19-9 on the road this year. Real quick, the Duke and Murray State. Duke looking for their first appearance at the College World Series since 1961.
Duke is not. Duke is one of the weaker hosts for the Super Regional round. I think they've had better teams in the past that have flirted. They have never gone to Omaha.
61 was the last time.
Okay.
Modern era, no.
Murray State. I don't know, man. Something about them they may be a little bit more competitive in this one, but Duke certainly has the upper hand and certainly the stronger pitching. Murray State's guy that threw for 120. The guy's doing a game last night in Oxford. Well, he's coming into the game. Oh my God, he's just warming up.
The big tall guy.
They couldn't believe he was coming. They got the mustache, and so he. I could see Murray State being a little bit more. Of course, it's hard to pick against Duke, but it could be a little bit more competitive than the odds indicate.
And then the last one is Tennessee and Arkansas. We talked about
Arkansas.
that.
I'm all over Arkansas on this one at a low price. You're not getting a cheaper price at home against Arkansas. I think Tennessee has been overpriced all season long. They're a public team. And, well, they still came out and won after facing an elimination game yesterday. And on a personal note, I think it's embarrassing how the coach and the players conduct themselves during these games in Tennessee.
Rooting for Arkansas.
I will be too, as my heart in my pocket. So anyway, don't forget our friends over at Total Maintenance. It's hot, man, period. It is just flat out hot. And our friends over at Total Maintenance are the place to go. Look, man, support the people who support us, man. Lucas has been supporting the show for a long, long time. So, Total Maintenance is one of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC heating companies since 1980. AC heating, generator installations, maintenance. But look, service today, every day, same day service means you'll never sleep hot. Call today, you get service today. 480-1000. 480-1000. 480-1000 is the number to call when that unit breaks down right now during these hot summer months. Our friends over at Total Maintenance.
Live at Mike Anderson's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch.
Have you been arrested or even issued a traffic ticket? Everyone makes mistakes. Hi, I'm Dana Brown from the law offices of O.C. Brown. If you find yourself in an unfortunate situation with the law,
Jordan.
call us today, and we can help you resolve your.
I just sent you that number if you don't have it.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Represent you. Before making any decisions, call us at 225-343-1111 for your free consultation. You can also visit us at ocbrown.com. The law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime.
The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Finbom, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee.
Congratulations are in order for one of my favorite places to eat, Snow Seafood and Steaks, celebrating its 50th anniversary. That's right, since 1971, Snow's has been serving a wide assortment of menu items to please everyone. Steaks, seafood, gumbo, Homemade soup, salads, specialty cocktails, great wine selection, and oh yes, the best white chocolate bread pudding that you'll find anywhere. It's the total dining experience. Happy 50th anniversary to my friends at Snow's Seafood and Steak, Airline Highway at Highway 74 in Gonzales.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference, all in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit ruffinosrestaurant.com. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Need more space? Workbox LLC has the storage solutions you can count on. Whether you're a homeowner, commercial contractor, or industrial business, we have the space for you. Our secure, versatile storage units are ready to meet your needs. Contractors, keep your site organized and efficient. Store your materials with us and access them anytime you need. Businesses, industries of any size, Workbox LLC is your trusted partner for flexible, safe storage. Workbox 343-4886 and workboxllc.com. Running a business can be difficult enough without the right relationship with your bank. With United Community Bank's local business bankers, you're not just a number, you're a partner. Contact Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, or David Henry to discuss how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 60 years. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Now, everybody's been to Louis Cafe by campus. Heck, it's been around since over 80 years now. We're still doing delicious omelets like the Mitchell, cheesy grits, Big Cheesy Lou, and those Louis' original Cajun hash browns. We now offer...
Andy, I'm still trying. He's not answering.
He just gave me a thumbs up.
Well, I called him about 4 or 5 times. I'm still trying though.
Point to stop by and visit an old friend, Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
Live at lunch with Ott and Yanni from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And we return here at Mike Anderson's. We're also brought to you by Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners, because when it comes to retirement, there are no two situations that are alike. So no matter where you are at this point, whether you're younger, older, they'll be able to tailor-make a plan that's exactly perfect for you. They'll be able to give you all of the information that you need for your tax professionals, for your business partners. Get them at coastalcapitaladv.com on the web. Members SIPC. And I think we got Ronnie Rance, who's
we can hear him buzzing around. Yeah. He's always in the middle of something.
It's opening day for the Rougarou. Ronnie, how you doing?
Oh, Coach, we're dealing with we got beer vendors over here. We got Coca-Cola vendors, dropping off stuff. We're, screwing in signs that were supposed to be here last week that just arrived. I mean, you know what it is.
TK throwing up first pitch tonight?
We've got Haley Bryant going to be throwing up first pitch. A little LSU gymnast. We got Hal. We got Helmers, Will Helmers throwing out the first pitch. He's representing Gordon McKernan tonight. Gordon a little under the weather this afternoon, just got word. So Will Helmers, who works for Gordon, going to be out here. We got Lathan, the kid umpire. We got Cajun Ninja, the chef, going to be in the house. So a lot of celebs.
I understand Mr. McKernan made a generous donation so that more people can see the game tonight. Is that right?
Yeah, he did. He's picking up the ticket for everybody tonight. So you don't have to worry about bringing your wallet for the gate. Save that for the Tremonti's Hamburgers concession stand. But no, you get in free thanks to Gordon McKernan tonight.
Ronnie, give me some familiar names that people going out this summer might see for the Baton Rouge Rougarou.
Yeah, behind home plate, Blaze Priester will be in the starting lineup tonight. Former Live Oak High LSU player. Deb Ruddle, former LSU Tiger, now Louisiana Tech, had a good year for the Bulldogs. Actually homered against LSU when they played them during the year. He'll be in center field. We also have Dylan Thompson, Sam Houston star, LSU player. He'll actually start on Thursday on our first road game over in Texas. Those are some of the guys. We got Robichaux over at second base, Catholic High, Southeastern player, had a real nice year, hit over 300 this year at Southeastern, playing second and third. So a lot of familiar names, and we'll have more, as the summer goes on.
All right, give me the schedule for those that want to get out and see a game. Pete Goolsby Field. You guys play through the months of June and July. So anybody want to come out and see the Rougarou? Give me the 411.
Yeah, 9 games in June at home, 15 games at home in July. So you can check out the schedule at brrougarou.com. brrougarou.com. You never have to wonder about the game time. They always start at 7 o'clock, no matter what day of the week. Think minor league baseball, but with college players. You got, fireworks on Friday nights. You got, always a special, every night of the week. Today's 2 for Tuesdays. We got $2 hot dogs, $2 popcorn, $2 soft drinks. Thursdays is Thirsty Thursday, 2-for-1 beers. So there's always promotions going on, just like minor league baseball.
All right, Ronnie, tell me what you thought last night. The game was pretty dramatic, and we saw some great performances last night as LSU advances.
Yeah, no, I thought the Tigers, one of the epic games, really, for anybody who watched it. I mean, you had the highs, the lows. You were ready to throw the remote at the TV. You're ready to cry, kick and scream, and then you're ready to cry in a good way at the end of the game. I thought you had some epic situations that are going on. Where you had Ethan Fry with one of the great, postseason performances in LSU history. You had Jones off the schneid, and hopefully that's a sign of things to come moving into the supers. And then obviously Kason Evans, not only one of the greatest freshman pitchers ever to play at LSU, but that was right up there with like a Brett Laxton type performance, how he was out of the bullpen when they needed it. Because if he gives up 2 runs, I don't think LSU wins that game. If he goes 6 innings and gives up 2-3 runs, I just think the way they would have been ahead most of the time, I don't think that they were playing at such a high level. I don't know that LSU wins it. They needed 6 shutout innings, and that's what they got.
Max asked a question during the break. I'll pass it along to you. Ethan Fry comes up with the bases loaded and LSU trailing 5-1. They had already in the 2 games failed 3 times to score a run and left the bases loaded. This would have been 4, but instead he laces a 2-out, 3-run double to right center, and LSU pulls within a run. He says, "What happens if Fry makes an out there? Then what happens?" So I'll throw that one at you.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it would have just been here we go again, and it would have been here we go again with the hottest hitter on your team, and so you probably would have really had a hard time overcoming that emotionally, mentally, all that sort of thing. But, that's the thing about this team and why we've liked this team and this lineup all year long is that they have 1 through 9. And that's what it's about. Everybody's not going to have their best game. Everybody's not going to be a hot each month. That's why you have a team. And I credit Jay Johnson. I don't know that I would have taken Jones out of the 2 hole and put him in the 6th spot in the final potentially game of the year. But he had the kahunas to do it. Jones had the unselfishness to not pout about it, not make a big deal about it, did it, and they both responded.
Rougarou tonight at 7 o'clock and all summer long here at the I know you guys have done a lot of work out at Pete Goolsby Field. I saw you out with a pressure washer in the off season, right?
Yeah, I mean, we literally pressure washed all the concrete. We painted every bench. It looks great, man. I appreciate all the hard work of our interns and Casey McKenzie and everybody that's done a lot here. And so I'm proud of the place. I would love everybody to come check it out at least once this summer. Come to a Rougarou game. Go to brrougarou.com and open night tonight. You don't even have to pay to get a ticket. Gordon McKernan's got your tickets for free.
Good luck to you guys, Ronnie. We'll catch up down the road.
Thank you, fellas.
Hey, Charlie, you talk about Ryan talking about making a call last night and it coming through. What series was it? What game? Remember you had the pinch hit He's got multiple pinch hits for a comeback at home.
Oh, that was
year.
against.
So he's kind of.
It was against Alabama.
That was Friday night.
Yep, it was a Friday.
Friday night.
It was the second game of the series of Friday night, and Ashton Larson was the first one that came off the bench and hit. I want to say it was a 3-run homer.
I mean, it's
pushed a lot of right buttons.
He has, and buttons. Look, you're managing. You can push them, but it's still hard for. That's
those guys.
You can't totally go, too strong one or the other on it working out. But man, he is.
Larson's homer against Alabama.
He's had a high rate of success on the thing. I mean, even
Dalton Beck against Tennessee. I think that was his only hit in SEC play the whole year.
Yep.
And was that the Friday night game?
That was
Friday
Friday
because that was their ace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got the goal out of the game.
1-0, 2-0, 3-0.
Yeah.
And they scored 6.
Had to have it.
Those 2 games. All pinch hits. So very good stuff right there. So Johnson still keeping calling the great shots. Don't forget our friends over at Workbox. Workbox Services, movable storage needs, commercial or residential. Martin Panigal and his great staff over at Workbox. They've been doing Workbox for a while. Now they got out of the portalettes and the dumpsters, but they're doing the shipping containers, custom storage containers, all different sizes. Most come with just one standard size, not at Workbox. 8 by 8 feet, 8 by 10 feet, 8 by 20, even 8 by 40 feet. Tool storage containers for job sites, custom lunchrooms, welders, plumbers, custom work sites, custom safety storage near the plant, customized part office, part storage, you name it, climate control, different shelving, lighting, wooden or metal. Customize it exactly to your needs or your preferences. Also, our home boxes for residential moving storage really makes it so much more simple. You can do it at your own pace instead of loading everything up in a moving truck, moving it over, unloading it so you don't have to pay extra days for rental. Those home boxes they're more cost effective and allow you to work at your own pace as well. Check us out at Workbox 343-4886 and workboxllc.com.
Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing.
Whenever you're ready.
It's rolling.
This is Charles Hanniger. Join us for the Wednesday edition of Live at Lunch from Modesto, corner of Burbank and Nicholson. We're talking to Scott Rabelais, Randy McKay, and Wes Reynolds, and we're one day closer to the Super Regional. Live at Lunch from Modesto, 11 a.m. Wednesday on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Place looks great. Lots of indoor and outdoor seating options with plenty of big TVs to watch all your favorite games. All of the traditional Mexican cuisine with a great happy hour, 2:30 to 6:30, 7 days a week. Plus, $5 margaritas all day, all night on Wednesdays. Great spot to bring the baseball team in between games, just 5 minutes north of Traction and 5 minutes south of LSU. Los Reyes Mexican Grill, 1072 West Lee, near Nicholson.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
This is Charles Hanniger. For total maintenance for AC and heating, generators, electricity, and plumbing, Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all of these needs. Service today, every day. That's their slogan at Total Maintenance, so nobody ever has to go to sleep hot. Over the years, Total Maintenance has expanded into the New Orleans area, as well as their offices in Baton Rouge with full staffs in both markets. Call 480-1000 in Baton Rouge or in New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance. This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike, so Coastal Capital Advisors will tailor a plan for your family's needs, no matter your age or your financial situation. The bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you and build a lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at 1045 ESPN and on Instagram at ESPN 1045. For a look behind the scenes, highlights from our shows, a chance to participate in exclusive contests, and more with 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Yanni from Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee Drive on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Saw Palmer this morning. He's looking remarkably more relaxed than he was yesterday at this time. Come on over and see us here at Mike Anderson's, the Oyster Bar. I tell you what, Mike's been shucking as fast as he can go today.
30.
Got some people in here enjoying the char-grilled oysters, the raw oysters. One of our favorite things here at
great
atmosphere
here on Tuesday nights for oyster night. Every night in the bar. Shane's working hard behind the bar, doing his usual act. Always a good time.
Tomorrow we are at Modesto, corner of Burbank and Nicholson. Till then, from all of us here at Mike Anderson's and Jordan back in the studio, I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars. Chevy.